No button up today, right? You know, it was said if the Rattlers come all button up for the next game, they might win. So, we're gonna see, what it's talking about. But we also gotta remember these two teams don't believe the myth. Rattlesnakes and owls, they don't burrow in the same hole. I know so what it's about to be. Fangs up.
Yeah, baby, you know what time it is. Now let's get it started.
Are you kidding me? Unreal!
While our HBCUs are mostly known for an academic rigor, community, they also know how to turn up.
Does he have it? Yes, he does!
And that might be the knockout punch.
All right, greetings, salutations. What's up, Terry T? What's up, Evan? What's up, Hollow? Man, I'm telling you, this is when the people at the good church hit you with the y'all lost to be full. What's up, little baby? So not the same Burrow. We are contemplating. Parents, I didn't forget. I got to make a stop. Didn't get to make a stop after work, so I did not forget about y'all. So I got it. It's in the car. If I don't go tonight after the show, then I'll go tomorrow. But it's in the car. So, Mom, if you're watching, it's in the car. But not the same Burrow. Do have full intentions of, maybe doing a little carpooling with my guy Brian from the ONG Strike Zone. We'll see. But they took care of me down at FAU already, so I wasn't gonna go, but now I'm probably gonna go. So, but yeah, man, it's been a great week. ONG Strike Zone, we've done that up twice. Sorry, let's see. I mentioned the mom. What else did we do this week? Did a show with FAU. So yeah, man, finally early. Look, you're good, Hollow. And then, sorry, I was trying to, if y'all are like me, I don't know if you got Peacock or not. The Cowboys and Eagles are playing. You got a FAMU in this game. So 2 FAMUans actually, potentially. I don't know if Isaiah Land's off the practice squad, but Isaiah Land, he's now with the Cowboys. Marquise Bell, also with the Cowboys. And then for the Jackson State faithful, your boy James Houston, he's over there too. So, man, I appreciate that, Hollow. Look, man, we got to make sure folks know, man, we run a button-up operation around FAMU. Don't get it twisted. Y'all come on our shows, it's all fun and games. But we do our homework now. We don't come in this thing half cocked now. We're gonna be well informed as to what's going on most times, right? But definitely appreciate that. Also, look, if you are so inclined, just want to make sure we remind y'all, Rattler Boosters, they're still out there doing the good work of FAMU. So if you are so inclined to joining, told y'all October is probably the month when I make some moves. So Rattler Boosters, I ain't forgot about you. Look, y'all on the back burner right now because you gotta take it home. In the words of David Hollister, if you don't take it home, hey, just saying. So if you take care home, you don't have to worry about your girls. So making sure I take care home. Also, St. Clair Moraine, we had Albert Chester on the show today. Good conversation. Catch that tomorrow, 6 o'clock on Hallelujah 95. Great conversation, good times, a lot of fun. St. Clair Moraine, myself, and Albert Chester going up there talking about it. One of the voices from the FAMU sports broadcast. Hopefully, he said he's going to be heading down tomorrow. So good times with that right there. Sorry, look, we got the family chat going on. Also, don't forget, we're doing our race to 10K. So if you are looking to support the FAMU track program, definitely scan that QR code, make a donation. Kurt Dawkins is, of course, title athlete. We kind of running behind, but it's for all the athletes. So it is going to be, he's not the only one that can benefit. This is something for everybody. What's up, JT? This is an initiative that we are doing. And look, I'll check in with the Fangs Exchange, see where we at in probably about a couple weeks. And then we'll probably do a new graphic, try to, keep it updated. And we will reach out to Coach to get him on the show probably next couple weeks. We letting school kind of start off, but we're gonna bring them on and get them talking about what's coming up. We do know the fall track season's coming, so get y'all ready for that and get y'all some way, shape, or form excited about what's to come. Don't forget, look, if you missed it, FAMU Golf, P2A. We already told y'all, kind of expected to do pretty good. The results, they validate everything we believed in. They are looking pretty good right now. They're probably going to win this first tournament of the season, so you can go check out the FAMU website and see some of the good things that we're hearing back from them. So I'm kind of hopeful about this. Kind of excited. Also, if you're looking for the Fang Exchange, they're going to do a watch party on Saturday for the game. So no Fang Exchange tonight. I know Ash is kind of tired like me. After the show tonight, look, brother's gone. I look, I was this close to hit the shower beforehand, but I'm gonna wait, hit 2 melatonins, and get ready for that Friday. But it's gonna be some fun times, man. So mentioning fun times. Look, GeorgiaFootballClassic.com, code looking out. If you are so inclined, definitely feel free to go up there. The game looks like it might be a better game than what we originally expected. I think by then we kind of know we got a quarterback. But that's just me. I could be wrong. Also, if you are going to New Orleans and Baton Rouge, justlookingout.com, hit up Mike. Let him know that you going over there to the Bayou to catch both games. I told y'all, Superdome's on my bucket list. I've done A.W. Mumford. I've never done FAU Stadium, so that's probably kind of the itch that's being scratched there. That way, I can be that much closer to knocking off all the college football stadiums in the state. I've done over half of them, the major ones. So obviously both in Tallahassee, UF multiple times over. Hadn't done Daytona. So Daytona next season, not this season. I don't care that much. But next year, I'm going to try to go to a Cookman home game. I've done their basketball games. Not impressed. But they beat us. So I can only talk so much trash, right? All right, so football. What's left on the bone? Not much, man. Look, if you've been watching between ONG Strike Zone on Monday, ONG Strike Zone last night, the FAU podcast that also I did yesterday. Look, man, ain't much on the bone. I will say this is the first 220 meeting for the year that I sat through, and it was already planned for me to watch it before the outcome of the game. I just knew, I was like, hey, I hadn't really been watching them this year. Kind of like Brian and I were saying, like the 220 meetings, just for me, it's at a weird time. So the meeting starts during a class period, then I get a lunch break, and then I got to leave. So, Hollow, as far as I know. I hope I'm not breaking news on that, but he probably, my projections, first SWAC game of the season. So you probably won't see that particular person. Just make them read this. So, I don't want to be like, this person's name not going to be playing for 3 to 4 weeks. But to answer your question, Hollow, I would not foresee them playing for the first 3 to 4 weeks of the season. Just saying. I would really like to see that athlete on the field, though. I would love to have one after dark during homecoming. I could probably make that. You ain't the only one. Look, after dark homecoming, depending on the day of the week, that'd be fun. Like, that's just me. Like, I know I'm not going to drive to Tallahassee just for it, but I think that'd be pretty cool. We used to have like the Billy Joe show back in the day, and some of the other coaches shows, they'd have like a restaurant or something like that. But I think that's a solid idea. So, but what's on the bone? Not much. I mean, I think we kind of heard what we've heard. If you watched and you heard, coach has pretty much told you he's dug in with his quarterback, and that's fair. That's your decision. Look, you already know you're gonna get asked questions. So, and that's not the purpose of going to the game. Honestly, the purpose of really trying to make this game personally is because I know nobody else is going. Like, it's not trying to be the exclusive, and I'm not big on that. Y'all know when it comes to Fangs Up, I don't break news, I confirm news. But when it also comes to our stuff, this is one of those, much like ONG, when you have a lack of resources, FAMU and started to create resources. So this is one of those times where it's like, I know Vaughn, I didn't know he might not be there. I was hoping he would, because I was about to be like, hey, you gonna be there? Cool. But in this case, it's a good time to, maybe just get some relaxation and maybe even have a little fun, hang out, see something different, but also make sure you provide that service that we need for our people. Like, if we don't do for FAMUans, who will, right? Like, just saying. My QB, Cozy sticking by him. So I'm gonna he's shaking my pom in my business. That's a lot of us. I ain't gonna hold you on that. Like, I think, in everything we've said about the quarterback, though, right? One of the things we're probably not saying enough is that defense was fire. Like, let's I don't want to say turn the page on that, because I think that's almost where people are leaning in a little bit much. But let's celebrate something, right? Like, you can't be pessimistic all the time. And of course, this is coming from somebody whose values being real and being honest in their fandom, right? Like, if you caught last night, my statement about FAMU and the swag, everything I said was facts. Like, it wasn't me leaning into being a FAMU fan. It was me leaning into data. Like, everything I said was a data-driven statement. It was nothing that was hyperbolic. It was nothing that was grandstanding about how great FAMU was, and it didn't put anybody else down, because there's some really good schools in the SWAC. And since we've come in the SWAC, you got schools that are doing some things like that now. You need to pay attention. But I think one of the things we kind of looking at this, man. What's up, Gail? What's up, Kev? What's up, Mike? And he said, drop a heads up for New Orleans weekend. In addition to the Rattlers and the Bucks, the Pelicans play the Spurs that Friday, the 24th, and LSU hosts Texas A&M that Saturday as well. Man, that's gonna be crazy right there. But the question is, you think the defense will play up? Hollow, you asking? That's a good question. I'll be honest, and y'all know me. I like to be honest. I won't say play up, right? I think, because there's not a lot to play up to, right? I mean, they don't suck. They play a team that was better than them, right? If in referencing FAU. I do think the defense puts on a decent showing. As I stated last night and on the FAU show, I think the defense just gets worn out. Like, you're watching an offense that's going to really seek to be quick strike. I think the defense is the ultimate equalizer in this game, right? Like, FAMU's defense carried this team in the Orange Blossom Classic. They're gonna have to carry again. Like, yeah, Hitman, that ain't gonna do. And look, the way Tasha talked, this would be a game test. Our DBs are they gonna live up to the hype? That's a question I got. And I'll be honest, where's their help coming from? And that's not a challenge. That's an honest question, because I think when you're looking at FAMU's defense in this game, and you go back and watch that Maryland defense, their defensive line is not spectacular. They're good, for a power 4 program, autonomous 4, if you will. They're all right. They're going to get you 8 wins, 7-8 wins. They're not going to blow you away by any definition of the word. But what they will do is they're going to give you a good time, right? And I think if they were to play a team like a Florida State, it'd be a pretty even battle. I didn't have them winning last week, and when they won, I celebrated. I don't have FSU as the top 5 team in this, all of college football. I do think they're top 25. You beat Alabama like that. Granted, this ain't Nick Saban's Alabama. You ought to earn something. But this ain't Florida State or Alabama and FAU. This is more along the lines of maybe a Duke. Vanderbilt's being nice. Like, I don't think you can even compare them to that. And I think this is borderline a high-end FCS team. Like, they're another 3-win team, first-year coach. And I really think when you're kind of looking at this and seeing what you have here, the question is going to be FAMU's defensive line. One, can you create – I want to say create penetration. Can you hold the line? That's going to be the real question, because I think when we're saying that FAMU's defensive line is going to create penetration, you're really looking at Westmoreland on the defensive end. Can he and the other defensive ends get around the tackles, right? But then on the interior line, can they clog up the middle? That's going to be a question for me. And if they can clog up the middle, that's where the game gets equalized and changed, because you're forcing them to throw the ball. And we've seen with the FAU quarterback, balls can get tipped. And mistakes can happen when the balls get tipped, because all of a sudden, the second that ball gets tipped in the air, everything's fair. Like, let's be real about this. The second somebody puts a hand in the air and you tip a football, you knock a man out. Had to catch myself. Yeah, I know we can, folks, and sometimes we be letting stuff slide. But you can knock a naysayer out. It's like, and there's no flag you can throw as long as it's not targeting, because the ball got tipped. So I think that's some of the things where this defense may have some opportunities. I do think the secondary gets challenged, but I got to give Colsey some credit, right? Because as much as Colsey's been catching a belt, and look, for them quarterback decisions, it was what it was, right? You got to get some praise for that defense now, Coach. I can't chastise you if I'm not gonna praise you. That defense was good. I told y'all, I said it last night. That's the most exotic defense I've seen out of FAMU in probably 45 years, right? Like, overall, in its totality, it's longer than that. Like, you threw some exotic blitzes. Some of them didn't always work. But I'm just saying, when it came to it, I think it was, this defense is going to be what carries you. Oh, boys have been singing the national anthem. I will say this, though. If you are the diehard, live by every play fan, and if FAMU don't win, it's going to ruin your weekend, this ain't a game to watch. This is the game to, if it ain't raining where you are, go get some ribs, get some chicken. If you can cook a brisket, get a brisket and get some beef ribs. Go find you something to do. Go clean the house and watch games on TV, and just make it a nice, blissful Saturday. Because this is not a game where you're likely to win, right? You don't concede anything. But we're fans. We're not players. Like, as a player, I walk in there thinking we're going to beat everybody. But as a fan, I think we can. Yeah, can it happen? Absolutely. Will it happen? That's the likelihood. That's where you start kind of coming in. Like, okay, can we make some points happen? Because I saw it up there earlier. Look, Hitman said it best. 9 points. 9 points ain't gonna cut the mustard. Like, granted, they scored 7 points last week, FAU. They also played a higher level team. So, if we're being honest with this and what we have here, this is going to hinge on the defense. So defense, you got to win this game, because offensively, they've kind of shown you what they are. But then also coaching wise, we've seen your philosophy when it comes to the quarterback is let him grow, let him develop, give him some space. Me personally, you're going to see every quarterback that I got. Now, like, I'm sorry, if you asking Keith, who's going to be playing quarterback? Everybody. I would say it just like that too. Like, everybody. Like, put that on. You like Usher? Put that on everything. Yep, I'll put that on everything. If it was Keith, you see every quarterback out there. And if I was Cozy, I might just show you my poker face and be like, well, I said who was starting. I didn't say who was playing. Everybody gonna get a shot, because at this point, what kind of confidence you building by leaving them in there, especially you getting mollywopped? And I love one of the questions we got from Albert Chester was, what happens if Jet or the other quarterback comes in there and show you a little something? Okay, this is for me. I'm not so prideful that I can't be wrong. I even tell my students. I remember first week I said, hey, y'all check on me sometimes, because I'm not always right. And one next day, one of them checked the date. Mr. Hadley, the date wrong. Appreciate that. And I fixed it, because I'm not always right. So I think that's one of the benefits that we have as adults, right? Where you can say, man, I'm not always right. I'm not always going to get this right. But as long as I got breath in my bones and I got opportunity, to fix it. And that's really what we're looking for. Because the frustration is because we have a standard, right? It's, the show last week, the standard is the standard. What was that? Or this ain't the standard. That was Sunday. Then, yesterday, ONG, we reiterated the importance of setting a standard because FAMU's defense is a standard. Like we call it the dark cloud defense, and let's be honest, that was the dark cloud defense. That was what we expect defensively. Offensively, that wasn't it. And so, again, I told you I'm not gonna harp on an offense the whole time. We've done that enough. This defense gives you a chance, and the special teams too. Like FAU's got speed. We got speed. I think we can compete. I don't think we can match. But I'm just saying, like, we got to get some things happening offensively. You got to score. Like, I'm just saying. And EA, I was not paying attention. I don't see Westmoreland. I didn't. So, and we're not winning. Everyone should know by now. You never know, man. And little baby, I love your statement about the offense maturing. Okay. Only thing I question about that is I think sometimes we give emotional characteristics to non-physical beings, right? Like the offense as a whole, and I understand what you're saying by, mature. I do know you're really saying they need to gel and they need to come together. But I think some of it, your play calling, and I heard Albert Chester say it again. Go catch it, Halloween 95 tomorrow, 6:00. He talked about the scheme. And I said the same thing. I remember leaving that game feeling like I don't feel like RJ can run this offense. That's in this place, in his existence in this offense. I don't think he can run it. And that's not being mean. And we did see a flash in the fourth quarter at the end of the game. Absolutely. But this is me. What we were sold was this is the guy. He's got command of the offense. And now what we're being repackaged is he's still the guy, but we can't give everything that we thought we were going to give at the beginning, right? And that's is what it is. But I want real. I don't want, and that's just me. So looking at this, I'm looking for an offense that's going to be very limited. But then I'm wondering, as a defense, not as a FAMU defense, but what are we going to see from their defense? Because I feel like now they know you're going to run a very limited offense where you're probably not going to challenge as much down the field. It might be an issue. And the real concern is if you're running an offense that, is limiting itself, how vulnerable do you leave your quarterback? Because you can't expect these guys to just create rushing lanes out of nowhere, right? Those guys, they're on scholarship too. So that's just what I'm going to be looking for. And like I said, defense slept on. Like, thank you, Hollow. They're going to stack the box because they watched the film. They watched the same film that you and I saw. And they got the all 22 angle more than likely. So it's a better angle. You can really see the field. They know, okay, he got the pass. He got to beat me. It's playing spades, right? I wish I had my spades cards with me. I got some autographed spades cards. Yo, brother Pole Mark. Oh goodness! Look, when you clear the board, you sign the spades cards. Good night, man. That was a good night, brother Pole Mark. But when you got a hand and somebody over there talking trash, like, oh, you got some cards in your hands. Oh, you got to show me. Y'all know you always got that one person. Oh, your partner ain't got nothing. Oh, you got to show me you got some. And they heights and square up, and they look right at you, and they just throwing cards and looking at you like, come on. And it's a 2-person game. That's what it's gonna be. They're gonna look squared at RJ and say, you got to show me. You got to do something. You got to throw that ball. You got to challenge us. Because what I saw against Howard, oh man, I'm gonna make you show me. You got to show me you him. What's up, Mary 305? It's gonna be interesting. People might disagree, but based on his OL blocks, not well at times, the better back at Somerset who jump cuts better. I'll say this. Is it that Bo is jump cutting better, or that Bo's more aggressive at the line of scrimmage? I had to say that, so that I didn't have to say no Diddy at the end of it. But is Bo a better north-south runner right now? I'll ask that question out loud. Like, I think if you kind of look at what Bo does well versus what Thad does well, Thad has size and power. But I think Bo is better at putting his foot in the ground and making a decision and being like, all right, that's the hole, and I'm running in it. Whereas I think sometimes, I don't want to say tiptoe, because sometimes we say tiptoe and it gives us the wrong image. Like, it's when when you talk about tiptoeing to somebody who played football, it's that guy who gets to the running hole and he's a little hesitant. But when you say that to somebody, the layperson, they thinking the guy's just standing there waiting around and trying to figure it out. And it's not so much of that, whereas Bo is more decisive. Like, he's like, all right, that's the whole go. I'm running for it. Where I think if Thad were a little more aggressive, it would help him and the offensive line, because, man, Thad's a big dude. Like, that's not somebody you want to run into at 180 pounds. But on the flip side of that, I think if he's running a little more aggressive, and thank you, JT, that's a great word. I think Thad's a little more of a patient back, and sometimes it's to his detriment, where I think Bo is more decisive. He does seem to attack the hole more vertically, whereas at times it doesn't seem like Thad is attacking as vertically, but he's also a little more patient. And so I can appreciate both that. Is Thad a slasher? I like that, though. He doesn't run like a 225. Not all the time, but you can't expect him to all the time either. I think some of the time he is trying to flash his speed, and QB was patting the ball. That's every quarterback, though. Like, I'm pretty sure. Look at Dak. Hit CD Lamb, deep pass. I ain't gonna hope these Cowboys, though. I almost put something against them. But Thad's a slasher. Okay. I think he has slash qualities, right? I don't know if he's a true slasher. I think, but yeah, I consider him more like a bounce back. Oh, that was pass interference. Wow. Yeah, sorry, number 8. Oh, Jackson. Yeah, you want to be starting something. But yeah, I think receiver-wise, that's another thing too. I think just looking at and this is what excited me. Sorry, I slapped the mic. With the FAMU offense, when they said RJ was going to be quarterback, I thought Jet was the better quarterback. I'll say that up front. I thought Jet was the better option. I thought you were going to get more of a read option. I'll say that. Like, I thought when you were telling me that Thad is going to be the running back, Bo's going to be there, running back 3 is running back 3, I'm thinking we get in the read option offense. And I didn't see a lot of that. I saw some of it, but I didn't see it to where I thought it fit his skill set in the moment. I think if he's going to be the guy for now, that's what you're going to have to get more of. It's going to have to be more of he's a threat with his legs, because if not, man, look, those other 2 quarterbacks are not bad options. Like, and that's going to be a place where, as a fan base, you're going to have to give the people something. That's just not trying to overly dance about it, not trying to harp on it, but I want to see that. And if you're not going to run that, you're going to have to run routes where you're running combination routes. Like, you have, obviously, your normal route tree, but you have underneath routes. You have a deep route. You have a route, you can only really run 3, maybe 4 guys out there just for pass protection reasons. But you may have to keep a tight end in the game. Like you have an H-back who can block. So I think schematically, there's some things that you're going to have to do differently to allocate and allow him to be able to pat the baby a little more. But when you do that, you also are going to incur more zone looks. Like they're going to make him throw in the tight spaces. They're going to make him beat them deep. So, I think that's some of the stuff, maybe we didn't get quite into in some of the other spaces where we're talking about just maybe just airing out some of our frustrations. But JT, thank you. Like, please, great concepts. Like, because what does pre-snap motion do? Pre-snap motion helps helps the quarterback read the defense because that helps him figure out, is this a man or is it a zone? And sometimes you can have a combination of both, but because very seldom are you going to have 11 guys man up, right? That's schoolyard football. There's normally somebody over the top, normally a safety, maybe a linebacker drops back. But you put a guy in motion, all of a sudden, when the defense starts pointing and pointing and pointing, they're passing the guy off. Now, that kind of helps you in coverage. Now, you do have defenses where, you go back and you look at some of these Nick Saban defenses where that's a bluff. They're passing people off and then they still go into a man concept. But I think that's a great point, JT. Like pre-snap motion, allowing some of your faster guys to get the ball on a sweep-like motion. Like, for instance, having your speedier receivers run maybe not in front of the quarterback while the ball is being snapped, but run in that direction so that, hey, it looks like it can be a handoff. And that turns into a different kind of read option. Again, when you told me RJ was going to be that guy as your starter, I felt like your best game was more of a read option. If you're going to give me jet, it's what you're running. What you're running fits jet. If it's jet and your other quarterback, it don't fit him that well. So that's just my partake. And kind of as we pointed out, and we've had others point out, at this point in the season, you're not losing everything by not executing, right? This early in the season. But it's the simple fact that FAMU never want to lose. Like, let's call that now. I never want to lose. And especially the teams where I feel like we are better than them. Whereas, hey, on that day, we weren't. And so until we play them again, they got bragging rights. That's fair. But in this case and in this game, I think some of the things that, and I'm going to give you my keys to victory. My score prediction has not changed for this game. Okay, it has. I had 45-24 because I really thought FAMU's offense was going to be better. I still think you give up 45, but I'll probably actually add another 7 for FAU. I would go closer to 54. What's that? Is that 54? That's not 54. That's 10. That would be 52. So 52-10 with what I saw last week. 52-10, 52-12. That's where I'm leaning at. I think the first half it's iffy. It tickles your fancy, but I think by the fourth quarter you're like, yeah, this is over. And I think that's where I'm at with it. EA says our QB not seeing who's hot with motion away, which was the sack that occurred in the red zone. Yeah, man. I'm tired of us excusing misreads. And it's almost like it's commonplace. Like, that's supposed to happen. No, it's not. It's supposed to happen every once in a while. But when it's a thing, it's a thing. Like, it's not acceptable. So, that's just me, though. Y'all know how Keith is. I'm a little biased. But I will say this. With all my bias, we did the run your pool. I was 4-1 on the run your pools. On the other games, hey, that's why I didn't mark them. Like, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. That Alcorn game, I was like, man, I'm so glad I didn't put nothing on that foolishness. That is a game where I was like, All right, I'm trusting y'all other people on this one. Man, that was trash. Then they 52 points is better than our defense. I'm expecting a little less. I think our defense can give up less. My biggest question is how much on the field. If we see a return of what we saw last week, we're gonna be in trouble. So let's see. If I put money on my picks, I would have lost big time. Hey, the only game I would have lost last week was the FAMU game. So for the run your pool last week, and y'all know, let's see. This is week 2, my entries. Y'all know, look, I don't run for smoke. Those are my options. That's what I picked. I picked Delaware. I picked UAB. I picked FIU. I picked FAMU. And I picked South Alabama. My only true L on the run your pool was FAMU. Appreciate it, guys. All right, so let's make our picks. We ain't gonna hold y'all too long. We know y'all been dedicated. Man, I ain't gonna lie. That Delaware State Albany game looks gooder and gooder. But I need some get back. Give me Temple over Howard with some confidence. Belt to behind. North Dakota State over Tennessee State. Belt to behind. Southern Miss. I'm definitely picking the Noops. And it's not just because he's a noob. I ain't gonna lie. Hey, I am the king at picking HBCUs to getting beat after last week. But this week, man, look, I am quick to call that one. Oh yeah, going on. Yeah, look, I don't even like to get high on my own supply, but yeah, Southern Miss, that's gonna be horrible. I'm trying to find one just gonna be honest. Yeah, Alabama A&M, come on this way. I don't trust Alcorn State with nothing after last week. And watch they upset me. All right, so so who we got? I ain't putting nothing on that. Delaware State might surprise y'all though. Like after last week, I'm gonna give Delaware State a shot. I ain't gonna put nothing on it though. Howard, they getting mollywopped. Temple, 3 touchdowns. Pick the Bama State Southern game. Come on, man. Oh, you already know who I got on that one. I got Alabama State. I was trying to make it competitive, but hey, since you want to, hey, you know me. Southern Miss, they're gonna kill Jackson State. Largely, like I said on ONG Strike Zone, that entire Southern Miss team, for the most part, is the conference championship team from Marshall that came over with Huff. So when Huff left Marshall didn't really want to re-up his contract like that. He pretty much brought his entire team, and that's his quarterback. So, you know, we see how coaches are about their quarterbacks, right? Let's see. I'm trying to see what that score was last week. 34-17. Heck yeah. He got 40. I would say 48-17 for that one, if I had to pick. And oh yeah. Let me go on and put my confidence point on that too. FAU, I got them over fam. I ain't gonna be petty and put the confidence points. No, Old Dominion over North Carolina Central. I'm sorry. I just think the talent disparity is there, but I think they're gonna put up a fight. I don't know enough about Tarleton State, but I still don't trust Valley. Central Arkansas, I got them. Do you trust Towson? I don't. But I'm gonna still pick them. Give me Alabama State over Southern. I can't trust Southern. And on GP, I can't trust Alcorn State till they show me something different. And I need them to not show me nothing different for the rest of the season. So, but yeah, NCCU, I don't think they're gonna be Old Dominion. I don't. I think the offense is gonna be fun to watch, but I think they're gonna be slightly overmatched. Now I could be wrong, but JSU by 14 EA, man, I can't see it. Combined points for Alcorn State's Alabama A&M. Give me, I think Alabama A&M is gonna score like 30. I give Alcorn 21. So let's make that a real football number. So 35, 21. Is that 56? Yeah. So we'll say 56. There you go. So picks are in. And for those who are wondering, I got Temple, North Dakota State. I got the Bison. I got Southern Miss over Jackson State, FAU over FAMU, and I got Alabama State over Southern. So those are my run your pools. Tarleton State's 2-0 and beat Army on the road last week. Yeah. Like I said, I will say though, like I said, and I said it tongue in cheek last night, but I really mean it. In the words of Dipset, Valley, man, those guys are going to be some really good players at some other schools. And UAPB, some of those guys need to make sure they go to class because we are seeing casualties. Like, yeah. Like maybe Southern shows up differently at home and puts on a performance. Man, we could hope so. I ain't gonna lie. Like, if you ask me who do I prefer, it's normally Southern. Like I don't dislike Alabama State. Like they're not my hated rival, but I grew up with Southern. I always kind of was closer to them when it comes to that kind of stuff. So I definitely think that's going to be an interesting game. I should have had my Division II classics ready, but I didn't get any ready. So I'm just saying, not Georgia Southern. Grambling getting over a milli for Ohio State is wicked. And the worst part, their band ain't that good. Like, I'm sorry. Grambling's band is not all that. Like, if we're talking top 5 in the SWAC bands, are they the 5? Like, FAMU, Jackson State, Southern, Cookman, 4. Like, right there. That's like boom, 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 1 through 4. We haven't even mentioned Texas Southern. Like, we haven't mentioned Prairie View. We didn't mention Alabama State. Like, my top 5 don't. I don't have Grambling. HBCU band wise, Grambling's not in my top 7. Like, they fell off like that. Like, man, I'm trying to figure out what's on. Whew. Yeah, they fell off bad. Like, yeah. For y'all old black people. They fell off like Dairy Queen ice cream sandwiches. Old black people, I promise you, all my uncles, man, that Dairy Queen ice cream sandwich, that thing was as big as your hand. Nowadays, man, that thing's so small. It don't taste the same. It's all right. Everybody tastes different on bands. Yeah, but I think all of us can agree Grambling ain't it. They're okay, but they just, I ain't gonna lie, I watched the Bayou Classic and I'm watching for Southern. Like, it's nice to see, Grambling Bam on the drum, but because I'll be honest, Southern and Jackson State are my tasting bands. But they came up. And I will say, one of the things, since they came in, FAMU came in the SWAC, they got better. And I'm going to tell y'all, I'm going to give y'all a sneaky band for 3 years. Might have your next band director. Y'all keep playing. Because, look, I ain't trying to never get rid of Chip. But, stuff happened. Told y'all about that boy at from Orlando, Jones High School. That was the band director at Tuskegee. That's now the band director at South Carolina State. I'm telling you. Do y'all remember what Tuskegee sounded like when he got there? Oh, they snatching helmets. Oh, Cowboys about to fight. If you watching the Cowboy game, they fighting. Cowboys and the Eagles, they fighting. It ain't no good fight, but yeah, they was fighting for a minute. I'm just saying, some people don't like FAMU and Cookman. That's because they don't have good taste. Like, I'm sorry, like, they don't have good taste. They sound different though. Like, if you're used to the Southern Jackson State sound, you're not gonna like FAMU Cookman. I'm used to the FAMU Cookman sound, so for me, I can appreciate Jackson State and Southern because what I do like is some of their horns lean into that blues tradition. Whereas in FAMU, we don't have that. We don't have that blues tradition of being in the Mississippi Delta, being near places like Muscle Shoals and, that deep blues history and tradition. We don't have that the way they do. So it's not in our band music the way that it is over there. But we will come on. We do play. We play some good music, and it sounds crisp and clean and refined. Like y'all discook. I ain't discooking. I told y'all quick. I got him in my top 4 quick, and you pick. You mess around. They do some different things with the band. Cookman can quick to get in that top 3. Because I think some days, I think Cookman can give Southern a run for the dollars, but it's, I think sometimes they're just a little reserved. Whereas like with FAMU, it's our size. And this year, I'm hearing Cookman's band is back to 300 and something. So that sound's gonna be back. It's gonna be nice. Like I'm looking forward to band season and seeing what the different schools sound like in the stands. Like I tell y'all quick, man, rivalry wise, some of that go out the window when it comes to me and some of these bands. I prefer our band because I'm used to that sound, but I appreciate Jackson State. Not a fan of Alabama or Texas schools bands. Yeah, Alabama. Okay, this is the only thing I don't like about Alabama State. They be doing stuff sometimes that I feel like cross the line with certain schools. Like I didn't like how they do. I don't like how they do Tuskegee. I don't like that. That time when they walked into the field in the middle of the school performing, I'm like, and then what was it last year before? Tuskegee's playing ball and parlay. Then they start blowing the song over them. I'm like, would you do that to FAMU? I'm not. That's not a challenge. That's an honest. You do that to FAMU, you do that to Cookman, you do that to these schools that are like similar size wise. Wow, Dak Prescott. Like these Cowboys might actually give me something to hope for. Don't give me hope. So I know, normally we won't lean into the band nerdiness of this, but hey, we've been doing enough, man. We've been having some fun, man. All right, man. Look, our brother is good and tired. I'm about to get a bath. Let these Cowboys watch me go to sleep and get ready. FAU, man. Look, if the Lord is willing and the gas is filling, we gotta go to the Valvoline spot and get oil change tomorrow, and it's a one-way trip. So, turn and burn. So we are looking right now, see if Brian's gonna jump in the car ride with me, but do a little celebratory guys trip. My first trip to FAU, so and they've already opened up the door. So try to, walk through and enjoy. Hopefully we can get a post game. We're gonna see if we can hit up Dennis and see where he wants us to be with that. So, but yeah, man. All right, y'all. So long story short, for this game, I got FAMU losing. I had us tighter than that, but I don't think it's gonna happen. And to the point to where I picked this on the pick'ems to catch a L, it was 45-24, but I got 54 to 14-10. Yeah. I will say this. My bold prediction sticks. I think we see 3 quarterbacks. I think you will see all 3 of your quarterbacks in this game, largely because I don't think you can get away with it. I think leaving one person in there just to struggle all game is more than short-sighted. Like, I'm just saying. Like, he said, Dak gonna bring it, especially after you guys spit on and start again. Look, I was ready for Dak. I want them to throw some hands. So, and if this is what it takes for the Cowboys to look decent, my goodness, got some hope now. All right, good people. Look, man, enjoy the game. You got a Rattler playing tonight. So it's FAMU. It's in my DNA. I can't help it. We do have 2 Rattlers on the Dallas Cowboys, and you do have 1 Jackson State Tiger as well. Everybody's on the defensive side. So, I can't think of nobody we got near the Eagles. So we're going to see, man. Y'all go enjoy. Hollow, is the stadium nice? I don't know. I've never been. I've seen the pictures, though. It's solid from what I've seen. So we'll probably find out, man. We'll be down there, do a quick turn and burn. Let y'all know. Try to get some post game. Try to get some other stuff. All right, y'all. For everybody, HBCU Digital Network, look, thank you to the OSG Strike Zone. Thank you to the people at FAU, their podcast, man. St. Clair Moraine, we have had an amazing week here as a Fangs Up team. So, big shout out to everybody. We're looking forward to some good things, man. So, no 27, your cousin. What's up, cuz? That's what's up. So we will catch y'all. We'll see y'all probably Saturday. Might catch an instant reaction out of us. We will definitely be much more able to deliver that versus man, Saturday. I couldn't do an instant reaction. I was so mad. All right, y'all. For everybody, HBCU Digital Network, y'all know what's up and what it's always gonna be. See y'all Saturday, maybe. Definitely Sunday. Y'all already know it's always gonna be though. Thanks up.
Yeah, baby, you know what time it is. Now let's get it started.
Are you kidding me? Unreal!
While our HBCUs are mostly known for academic rigor, community, they also know how to turn up.
Does he have it?